Manual handling provides lots of risks in the nursery industry. There is the bending from weeding and pruning, the moving of heavy pots, the repetitiveness of propagation, the loading of trucks, the stacking of trays along with carrying potting mix to customers' cars. Many injuries in the nursery industry can be avoided if employees know how to look after their backs and their bodies. The most effective way of preventing injury is to design a process or system of work so that the need of manual handling is eliminated or improved with mechanisation. If this is not possible, then it is crucial to use lifting techniques which minimise the risk of physical injury. Some examples of potentially hazardous postures or movements are reaching with one or both hands above the head, kneeling, squatting, bending, jumping, sideways twisting, and reaching forward more than 30 centimetres from the body. Each work situation within the nursery has its own particular risks associated with it, whether it's weeding, propagation, or loading the nursery truck. In each circumstance, a risk assessment should be undertaken.
Before we start work today, I might do a risk assessment of the work area.
When carrying out a risk assessment in relation to manual handling activities, you need to examine a number of factors. Is the task repetitive? Generally, repetitive is defined as more than twice per minute. Does the task require sustained postures or movements? Lifting or lowering? Pushing, pulling or dragging? Sustained is generally defined as being held for more than 30 seconds at a time. Does the task occur over a long duration? Long duration is considered to be more than 2 hours over a whole shift or continually for more than 30 minutes over time. Another consideration is whether the task involves high force. A high force task is one that a person would find difficult because of the effort it requires. Also, we need to take into account whether environmental factors increase the risk. Environmental factors include heat and cold. Repetitive tasks, sustained force, high force, and environmental conditions are the major things you need to consider when doing a risk assessment with regard to manual handling. Once the manual handling risk has been assessed, then steps should be taken to eliminate or reduce the risk. Risk control can be accomplished by redesign, mechanical aids and employee training. Where possible, jobs should be redesigned to prevent bending, twisting, reaching, pushing and pulling. Take a few exercise breaks through each shift and give your body a chance to recover and stay fit and healthy. Let's take a look at some of the problems and their solutions. Here we have the one-size pot so that we always know how heavy it will be. And we work from benches to reduce back injury.
When we first established the business here, we realised that one of the greatest risks to us as a nursery was the manual handling involved in lifting pots from the ground. So we decided to reduce that risk and where possible eliminate it was to move as much things onto benching so we could work at waist level. This means that you're not constantly lifting pots up and putting them down as they go through a growing stage and growing process.
Let's take a closer look at this system. Check the width of these benches. By working from either side, the staff do not have too far to stretch to reach across the bench. It also eliminates bad bending practices and the need to squat down to ground level. The movable benches also save the individual lifting of the pots as they are prepared for sale. The least amount of lifting we do, the better.
So all the work that we do is at a waist level throughout the nursery. This reduces the amount of bending and stretching and lifting, which reduces our risk of manual handling injuries.
Businesses that do not have the luxury of benches, or where benches do not suit the plants, have other systems of preventing back injury. This buggy is ideal for this business, as it eliminates the need to bend, which eliminates the back injury risks. The umbrella also gives good protection from the severe rays of the sun. Other businesses have more conventional methods, such as tools or the upside down pot, or they just maintain correct bending techniques. At this nursery, the previous method of stacking the tubes was causing a manual handling problem. The bending, stretching and carrying of trays were all of concern. Management had a meeting with staff and the consultation process came up with an acceptable solution.
Has anyone got any ideas or problems that they have in this department that they would like to fix?
I find my back aches when I'm cleaning the plants bending over and labelling them because the trailers are too low.
So if we raise the trailer up? We discovered at our workplace that we had some manual handling issues and we felt that there were some risks and hazards associated with this. We had a staff meeting. They brought up issues that they felt were important to them. We then discussed ways of solving them. I've seen a rolling bench in other nurseries where all the stock comes down a rolling bench, and we implemented some new pieces of equipment that would help them do their work more efficiently and more safely. This included a rolling bench, which also stopped a lot of confusion when the orders used to come into the dispatch area. They no longer bend over and the workers are a lot happier and safer.
This control measure not only eliminates the risk of back injury, but has also increased productivity. At this nursery, previously, they had lots of manual handling risks. Picking the bags up from ground level and carrying them long distances to customers' cars, then bending into the boot of the car, all contained serious risk factors.
These bags in the bags area, just some of them are a bit low. I think we need to lift some of them up.
The way we control risks at the nursery is to have regular staff meetings, and at these meetings we discuss what risks there are and ways that we might be able to minimise that.
Maybe the wheelbarrow or something loaded into.
Yeah.
What we need to do then is I'll take some of those ideas down and develop some control measures and put them into. And what we do then is to write our safe work method statements, identifying the risks and the control measures in there so that we can ultimately all work in a safer environment.
This nursery had the consultation meeting, did the risk assessment, worked out the control measures and wrote the safe work method statement so that all staff used the same procedure. Let's have a look at how they wrote the safe work method statement. One control measure was to raise the bags to knee height in order to eliminate severe bending. They've introduced a trolley so that there is no lifting at the source area. When placed in the customer's car, correct bending techniques are used. The bag is rolled, not lifted. or help is obtained from a colleague. At this nursery, the manual handling risk was in the propagation shed, where staff put long hours into their work, risking repetitive strain injury.
Since we've done the risk assessment, we've been able to control the hazards here in the workplace by rotating from bench to bench every 20 minutes.
Again, the consultation process worked, and the Safe Work Method Statement now has a procedure where the staff are multi-skilled and they rotate positions every 20 minutes, doing little exercise sessions between changes. This should never happen. Employees should only lift what they are comfortable with.
At our nursery, we would never attempt a high-force lift. We don't believe it's worth putting our staff's back at risk. We use either 2 people or a trolley. That way my staff are kept safe.
Remember, always bend from the knees. Never bend your back, and if uncomfortable, always get help or use a machine. And certainly use heavy lifting equipment for large jobs. Have trolleys available for smaller jobs, and call for help if you're uncomfortable with the lift. Manual handling accounts for 49% of all injuries in the nursery industry. That is why we take this very seriously. By adopting correct manual handling techniques, we will reduce our compensation premiums and improve the quality of life for all nursery workers. I wish you good health.